Good morning students, Maurice here. In the previous lecture we discussed the examples based on statements pattern. We discussed the examples based on statement pattern. Today we are going to see our next point is logical equivalent. Logical equivalent means what? Two or more statement patterns. Two or more statement patterns are said to be logically equivalent if and only if the truth value in their respective columns in the joint truth table are equal. Then we say that these two statement patterns are equivalent. One more time repeat the definition. Two or more statement patterns are said to be logically equivalent if and only if the truth value in their respective columns in the joint truth table are identical. Then you say that these two statements pattern are equivalent. ठीक है, definition of the two or more statement patterns are said to be logically equivalent if and only if the truth values in their respective columns in the joint truth table are equal. Then we say that these two statement patterns are equivalent. For example, if S1 and S2, if S1 and S2 are any two statements pattern, and if we say that these two statements pattern are equivalent, then we can write these as S1 is equivalent to S2. S1 is equivalent to S2. Equivalent, these three lines we use this symbol for equivalence. These represent equivalence between two statements pattern S1 and S2. Between two statement patterns S1 and S2. For example, if I take suppose this one statement P meet Q is equivalent to P join Q. If I say this equivalent, then we use this symbol equivalent. Now we take example घेतलं समजेल. Example P join with here Q meet with R, which is equivalent to P join with Q here meet with this P join with R. Question is using truth table verify the following. P conjunction with in bracket Q conjunction with R, which is equivalent to P disjunction with Q. Here this conjunction in bracket P disjunction with R. We have to show these two statements patterns are equivalent. These one statement pattern and these one statement pattern. We have to show or to verify these two statements pattern are equivalent by definition. Definition of the two or more statement patterns are equivalent if and only if the truth value in their respective columns are identical or equal. Means काय solution मध्ये काय होईल आपल्याला we have to draw or we have to find out the truth table of these statement pattern and these statement pattern. We have to find out the truth table of these two statement pattern. म्हणजे या दोन स्टेटमेंट पॅटर्नचा ट्रुथ टेबल फाइंड आउट करावा लागेल आपल्याला. या दोन स्टेटमेंट पॅटर्नचा ट्रुथ टेबल फाइंड आउट करायला लागेल, पण सेपरेट नाही, जॉइंटली. म्हणजे या दोन्ही स्टेटमेंट पॅटर्नचा ट्रुथ टेबल एकच ट्रुथ टेबल फाइंड आउट करावं लागेल. आणि त्याच्यामध्ये या कॉलमची व्हॅल्यू and या कॉलमची व्हॅल्यू सेम असेल. देन वी से दैट these two statement patterns are equivalent. Therefore solution, first we draw the truth table of these two statements pattern. Therefore in solution first statement of the P join with here Q meet with R, which is equivalent to P join with Q here that meet P join with R. Now in this given statement pattern there are how many statements? P Q R means three statements. Here also P Q R three statements. Therefore here first one is P, first statement is P, then second statement is Q, and third one is R. Now first we find out the value of that statement pattern. Now in that statement pattern this P already we have, this one statement we want, therefore we write here Q meet R, Q conjunction with R or Q meet with R. Then next we get this statement pattern, therefore we take this whole, means here is P join with that come Q meet with R. This statement pattern we get. Now next one, now we come here. Now we want this statement pattern. Therefore first we want this statement, this P join with Q here, P join with that Q, and second one is Q P join with R, and last this we get. These are also statement pattern. This statement we have, this statement we have. Therefore take this conjunction between these two, we get this whole statement pattern. Therefore here we write this P join with Q conjunction with here P join with R, P join with R, we get. Now here take the numbers of each column. Here these will be first column, this second column, this third column, that fourth, and this fifth column. This fifth column we get this statement pattern. Then next this 6, that 7, this 8, and this 8 means this statement pattern we get. Now we have to show these two statement patterns are equal. It means the truth value of that column and the truth value of this column, means truth value of 5th column and truth value of 8th column are same. या दोन कॉलमच्या ट्रूथ व्हॅल्यूज जर सेम आले तर आपण म्हणू शकतो these two statements pattern are equivalent. Therefore now here there are how many statements? 3 statements. Therefore by that note, if there are n statements, then the truth table of statement pattern involves how many rows? 2 raised to n rows. Now here how many statements? 3. Therefore there in that statement pattern truth table involve 2 raised to 3 rows, means 2 cube 8. Therefore 8 rows येतील means 8 truth values येतील in that first column. 8 चा half किती होईल? 8 half 4. Therefore first here T, then next T, then next T, 4 times T, 1 2 3, then 4, and then 4 times false. This up, these also up, these also up, and these also up. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Then second columns 2 times T, 2 times false, 2 times T, then 2 times up, 2 times up, again 2 times T, again 2 times up, and in last R, first T, second up, first T, second up, first T, then again second up, then T, then up. We get this. Now fourth column what? Conjunction between two statements Q meet R. Now Q and R, these in these two statements we have to take conjunction, and we know that in conjunction if both these sub statements are true, then the conjunction is true, otherwise it is false. Means what? दोन T आले असतील तरच T येणार आपण, otherwise there is false. Therefore here only T, therefore we can write here T. Then these not T, not means here also only T. I think this also T, right? T up, T up, then T up. Here also have T. This also T, 2 times T, 2 times T, means there only T and remaining values are false. Means these also false, these also false, these also false, and these also false, and last one also false. We know that in conjunction if both these sub statements are true, then the conjunction is true, otherwise it is false. Means there only T, therefore we can write here T, and there also only T, therefore only we write here T, and remaining values are false. Now next one, P disjunction with that set, this Q meet with R, means this P, that P disjunction with this statement means disjunction, and we know that in disjunction if both the sub statements are false, in disjunction both the sub statements are false, then the disjunction is false, otherwise it is true. Means here only this up, here also up, therefore only we can write here up, here also we can write up, then these also up, I think these also up, therefore only we can write here up. Then next remaining not up, remaining, therefore this T, here these also T, there also T, then there also T, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and these also I think T, where these and these Q meet with R, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, one value remains here, there also what? False, means this T and that up. Now P disjunction with that set, these here what? here also what? T. We know that in disjunction, if both the substatements are false, then the disjunction is false, otherwise it is true. Means 2 times F, then F, 2 times F, then F, 2 times F, then F, otherwise it is true. Otherwise it is true. Means here Ft, therefore this is true. Here Tf, therefore this is true. Tf, therefore also this is true. Tf, therefore also this is true. And Tt, therefore also this is true. In disjunction we know that. Now next one is what? P disjunction with Q. P here and that Q. P and Q disjunction means P joined with Q. If disjunction, we know that in disjunction, if both these substatements are false, then the disjunction is false, otherwise it is true. Otherwise it is true. Means here this first value is T, second value also this T, third value also this true, then fourth also this true, then fifth also this true, sixth also this true, and then next last two are false. Last true or false means F. Then next disjunction, last seventh column what? P joined with R. P joined with R means disjunction between P and R. First T, first this TT. Then next one is TF. Also we can write this T. Then next one TT. Therefore also there is T. Then TF. Therefore also this T. Then FT also is disjunction T. And FF in disjunction, if both these substatements are false, then the disjunction is false, otherwise it is true. Otherwise it is true. Otherwise it is true. Otherwise it is true. And then last take conjunction between these two statements. Now in conjunction, we know that in conjunction, if both these substatements are true, then the conjunction is true, otherwise it is false. Means this TT, therefore we can write this T. There also this TT, therefore we can write this T. TT, therefore we can write this T. Also TT, this here T. TT also we write T. Now here remaining are false. This F, here also F, and here also F. Now column fifth, last three false. Right, you get answer. Now here question is that using truth table verify the following. Verify करें P join with this Q meet with R is equivalent to C join with Q. Here conjunction with P join with R. Equivalent, we have to show these two statement patterns are equivalent. Means definition of two statements are equivalent. When equivalent, if the truth value in their respective columns are equivalent, then we say that the given statement pattern are equivalent. Therefore here first truth table, in the given statement pattern there are three statements P Q R. Therefore we take P Q R. Then next we take Q meet with R, this, and then its disjunction with P, means we get this statement pattern, fifth number column. Then next P join with Q. Then next we take P join with R, and last we take disjunction or conjunction between these two statements. We get last 8th column. 8 number column means these one statement we get 5th and this one we get 8th. Now here first P statement, there are 3 statements, therefore in first column there are 8 rows, means 4 times T, 4 times false. Then Q statements, there are first 2 T, second 2 are F, then again 2 times T, then again 2 times F, and then in R columns first T, second false, first T, second false, that form we get. Now next here Q meet with R, or Q and R, Q conjunction with R, means this Q and this R. And we know that in conjunction both these substatements are true, then the conjunction is true, otherwise it is false. Means TT, therefore T. Here TF, therefore it is false. This also false, this also false. Then here they both are TT, therefore we can write here T, and remaining are false. We get this. Now last column is what? P disjunction with that statement, Q meet with R, means this P, its disjunction with that statement, Q meet with R, means here P disjunction. And we know that in disjunction, if both these substatements are false, then the disjunction is false, otherwise it is true. Means here this F, therefore we can write here F, here also F, therefore we take only F, here also F, therefore we can write here F, and remaining values are T. Remaining values are T. Why T? Because in disjunction, we know that in disjunction, if both these substatements are false, then the disjunction is false, otherwise it is true. Then next column is P join with, or P disjunction with Q. Here P disjunction with Q. Disjunction with similar procedure. We know that in disjunction both these substatements are false, then the disjunction is false, otherwise it is true. Means in that F value only these two, last and second last, this F, this F, therefore disjunction is F, otherwise it is true. then next again similar disjunction with r, p with r, p with r, p with r. Also we know that in disjunction both these substatements are false, then the disjunction is false, otherwise it is true. Here also f and here remaining are t. And last is in these two treatment there is conjunction. Now again similar procedure, we know that in conjunction both these substatements are true, then the conjunction is true, otherwise it is false. Means there t, t, therefore t, here also t, this t, here t, therefore we can write this false, we can write this false. Now next line, in the above truth table, in the above truth table we observe that, what we observe that, in the above truth table we observe that the column number 5th and column number 8, all the entries in column 5th and column 8 are equal, therefore we say that the given statement pattern is equal, therefore we say that the given statement pattern are equivalent. Why equivalent? Because the truth values of that column and truth value of that column are same, therefore we say that the given statement pattern is equivalent. या column नंतरची लाईन काय येईल? Therefore from the above truth table we observe that all the entries in column 5 and column 8 are same, therefore the given statement pattern is equivalent, therefore the given statement pattern is equivalent. Now next point is tautology, contradiction and contingency statement pattern. Now next point is tautology, contradiction and contingency. Now suppose we have two statements, or next point is what? Tautology, contradiction and contingency statement. When we say that the given statement pattern is tautology or contradiction or contingency, suppose we have any statement pattern, and if we find out its truth table, suppose we have any one statement pattern, then if we find out its truth table, now in that truth table in last column involve all the truth value are t, in the last column involve all the truth values are t, then we say that the given statement pattern represent tautology. Or in the given, or for any statement pattern, if we draw its truth table and in that truth table last column involves all the truth value are yup, then we say that the given statement pattern is contradiction. And in that last column involve t and f, both t and f, then we say that the given statement pattern is contingency. ठीक है, काय होतं? For any statement pattern, if we find out its truth table, now in that truth table we observe in last column, there are all truth value are t, then you say that the given statement pattern is tautology. Or if we observe in last column all the truth value are yup, then we say that the given statement pattern is contradiction. And if we observe that in last column all the truth values are both t and f, then we say that the given statement pattern is contingency. Or simply जर आपण एखादा स्टेटमेंट पॅटर्न घेतलं, त्या स्टेटमेंट पॅटर्नचा ट्रुथ टेबल आपण फाइंड आउट केला, तर त्या ट्रुथ टेबलमध्ये लास्ट कॉलम, इन द लास्ट कॉलम ऑल द ट्रुथ व्हॅल्यूज आर टी, देन दिस गिवन स्टेटमेंट पॅटर्न रिप्रेझेंट टॉटॉलॉजी. अँड इन दॅट स्टेटमेंट पॅटर्न इफ यू ड्रॉ इट्स truth table, in that truth table last column involve all the truth values are yup, then you say that the given statement pattern is contradiction. And last column involve both, म्हणजे दोन्ही टी अँड एफ दोन्ही व्हॅल्यू आल्या, तर आपण काय म्हणणार? दीज स्टेटमेंट पॅटर्न रिप्रेझेंट व्हॉट रिप्रेझेंट? दीज स्टेटमेंट पॅटर्न रिप्रेझेंट कॉन्टिजेन्सी. दीज रिप्रेझेंट कॉन्टिजेन्सी. फॉर एक्झाम्पल सपोज आय टेक examine or using truth table examine the following statement pattern tautology, contradiction or contingency. एक्झाम्पल घेतल्यानंतर समजेल. क्वेश्चन काय होता माझा? जर एखादा स्टेटमेंट पॅटर्न असेल, त्या स्टेटमेंट पॅटर्नचा आपण ट्रुथ टेबल फाइंड आउट केला आणि त्या ट्रुथ टेबलमध्ये लास्ट जो कॉलम असतो त्या लास्ट कॉलममध्ये होल जर व्हॅल्यूज टी असतील तर गिवन स्टेटमेंट पॅटर्नला आपण म्हणणार टॉटॉलॉजी. अँड लास्ट कॉलममध्ये सर्व व्हॅल्यू जर एफ असतील तर आपण गिवन स्टेटमेंट पॅटर्न म्हणू शकतो इट इज कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन. अँड लास्ट कॉलममधील सर्वच व्हॅल्यू टी अँड एफ मिक्सर असतील तर आपण म्हणणार गिवन स्टेटमेंट पॅटर्न इज कॉन्टिजन्सी. नाव फॉर एक्झाम्पल using the truth table examine whether the following statement pattern is tautology, contradiction or contingency. Example is that P conjunction with Q implies the P. Now question what? Using truth table examine whether the following statement pattern is contradiction, tautology or contingency. We have to examine this given statement pattern is tautology or contradiction or contingency. Means what? First आपण काय करणार? First we find out its truth table. पहिल्यांदा आपण याचा ट्रूथ टेबल फाइंड आउट करणार. देन इन दॅट ट्रूथ टेबल फाइंड आउट केल्यानंतर काय लास्ट कॉलम ऑब्झर्व करावा लागेल. इन द लास्ट कॉलम ऑल द व्हॅल्यूज आर टी टी टी. देन वी से दॅट दिस स्टेटमेंट पॅटर्न इज tautology. And if all the truth values in the last columns are f, then we say that the given statement pattern is contradiction. And if in the last column all the truth value are mixed, means there are t also and f also, then we say that the given statement pattern is what? Contingency. Therefore we take first in the solution we draw its or we find out its truth table. Now truth table, first we observe that there are how many statements? There are only two statements, P and Q. Therefore here first statement is P, second statement is Q, second statement is Q, PQ. Then next we get P conjunction with that Q, and last we get total statement is here P conjunction with that Q implies this P. This is our required statement pattern. This is our required truth table. Now here in the given statement pattern there are two statements, means by that note there are how many rows? 2 raised to 2 means there are 4 rows. 4 rows means there are first 2 are T, second 2 are false, second 2 are false. Then here first T, second is F, then T, then F. Now conjunction, you know that in conjunction both these sub statements are true, then the conjunction is true, otherwise it is false. This we get. Now here conditional statement means what? P conjunction with Q, if then this P means conditional statement with this statement and this statement. And you know that in conditional statement first statement is true and second is false, then the conditional is false, otherwise it is true. This here this with P means here this T, then this F means all values are T. Why T? Because in conditional statement if first statement sub statement is T and second sub statement is false, then the conditional statement is false, otherwise it is true. म्हणजे काय पहिलं T सेकंड फॉल्स असेल तरच कंडिशनल स्टेटमेंट फॉल्स होतं, अदरवाईज इज ट्रू होते. बरोबर. म्हणजे इथे काय टी एफ असं कोणता येतच नाही. टी देअरफॉर ऑल्सो टी, हिअर एफ टी, दे काय टी, हिअर एफ अँड हिअर व्हॉट टी एफ. देअरफॉर होल दिस व्हॉट ट्रू. होल these statements are T. Now next line guys, we observe that or in the above truth table we observe that all the entries in last columns are T. Therefore the given statement pattern, we say that given statement pattern is tautology. Which is the required answer.